podcast you listen. This is my pick. We are going to go into movies regarding the WWE superstars. This is MC's favorite with Roddy Piper.
Yes, sir. They live.
But we're going to go through first the worst movies.
The long list.
15 of the worst movies. I'm going to let you pick. Which one do you think is number 15 of the worst movies?
Ooh, Mr. Nanny.
Nope. John Cena in Fred.
Well, you should have started from one because
okay, I'll do number one. The worst movie.
The Marine 5.
Jesse the Body Ventura in Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, made in 1990. Did you even see
Abraxas? I don't know. I love Jesse, but I've never seen that one.
Jesse was awesome in the movie.
Abraxas?
Yep. Does anyone besides us actually remember this movie? That's what this article says. All you need to know was Abraxas is that it's a cheesy science fiction to the max. It blatantly rips off better movies and steals multiple points from Jack Kirby's Fourth World comics. So that is listed number one due to the complex.com magazine of the worst movie made by a wrestler. Number two, this is your boy, Roddy Piper.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. 1980.
Never seen that, but I've heard of it.
Hell Comes to Frogtown. That just sounds stupid in the title. Frogtown. It's a historical No, it isn't a historical documentary about Nazi Germany invasion of France. Rather, Hell's Comes to Frogtown is a kind of a headache-induced movie that have been birthed during the horrendous decades of the 80s. The plot of the movies follows Sam Hell, which is Roddy Piper, as he tries to save a group of ultra-fertile women from some mutant amphibians that are using them as sex slaves. That sounds bad. Number 3, WCW's main man, Mr. Bill Goldberg in
Santa with Muscles?
Santa Slay.
Oh, Santa Slay.
1990 or 2005. You know, this is when he was coming off of his big move, when he was real popular then. So 2005, he was actually probably out of wrestling and trying to get into more movies.
2005.
Yeah, so he was he was coming off of his big wrestling thing.
Yeah, I think he had left his WWE run at that point. They say they gave him a 1-year deal, and then I think that he probably did that movie afterwards.
It was billed as a cheesy horror flick. Santa Slay spits in the face of good taste and intelligence. That's what they said this movie was. All right. This kind of goes up with our movies. See, we're not the only ones that make movies. All right. Now,
hey, I just watched my movie. I still can't believe we fit that much story and action in Assassin Unstoppable. So
all right,
I'm proud of it.
I'm not talking about your fucking movie. Just shut up about your movie right now.
Why'd you mention it?
Number 4, the man himself, who probably only made one good movie. And he wasn't even starring in it. But Sylvester Stallone made him look awesome. This man made a movie. What'd you say it was called again? Hulk Hogan and
Mr. Nanny.
Mr. Nanny in 1993. Terrible movie.
Top 5 then. Top 5 worst. They have Mr. Nanny.
Mr. Nanny's number 4.
Yeah, so it's in the top. That's why I mean it's in the top 5.
Trying to follow in the footsteps of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he was trying to get in the hottest mart where everybody was muscles and bound. And they put him in a stupid ass movie called Mr. Nanny. And I remember I saw that movie and it was terrible. I bet you they probably asked Arnold if he wanted to be in it. And he probably said, no. So
I don't want to be in a movie that dumb.
Now, this one I disagree with. I didn't think this movie was bad. I actually like this movie. I disagree with this choice. But
this is number 5 now.
Number 5's Ready to Rumble with Diamond Dallas Page. I thought that movie was actually pretty funny.
What's his name? Jimmy King is the
that was a terrible character. That was a
terrible
character.
character.
To be the wrestler. To pick out of everybody who could play wrestler, they picked that guy to be the main guy.
I mean, but David Arquette is actually the real main actor as far as outside of the wrestlers of the star of the film. David Arquette actually went on to become a WCW champion, believe it or not.
Yeah, but still, Jimmy King is that character is not. He doesn't even look. There's like no muscle tone to that dude whatsoever. He didn't even look.
He was like they made him like he was a babyface honky tonk man.
He was pretty much
and mixed between Honky and Jerry Lawler, and only both of them were heels, and he was playing a sympathetic character, right?
It was terrible. All right. So we got to go back.
I thought you said you liked it, but now you're saying it's terrible.
No, him as the main character as the wrestler was bad. I liked the movie though. I thought the movie was funny. I thought the movie was pretty good. I did think that it had some kind of potential to be entertaining. I thought that Diamond Dallas's part in the movie was sad because they didn't really use his character like they should have in the movie. But that's just kind of who he is. You know, that guy, what was he in his 40s when he started wrestling? So
almost, I think 37, 38.
Yeah. So I think it was bad casting, but honestly, I think it was a big focus on they were trying to make a wrestling movie with all the WCW guys, and they were trying to make something out of it. And they used Diamond Dallas Page because he was the champ at the time. And they were trying to bring him into the movies, and he has character anyways. And they had Goldberg in that movie too. I mean, he's not the only one. Diamond Dallas Page wasn't the only guy in that movie.
I think it's a reach to put this as a top 5 worst wrestling movie, or movie with a wrestler of all time.
Well,
that article is saying.
I actually think that was pretty good. Now, this one I disagree with too. Although his acting was terrible in the movie, was Triple H and Blade Trinity. That movie sucked for Blade.
I'd seen it once. Yeah, that was the third. Yeah, that was the third one. That's what it was called, Trinity. And Ryan Reynolds
and Triple H is a terrible actor.
Wasn't Jessica Biel, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triple H is a terrible actor, but he wasn't really main character in that movie.
Didn't he have the steel fangs in that?
Yeah, he looked like he was so swollen that he couldn't even move his arms or his body. It looked like he was like body was so puffy. It was like
walking steroid.
Like he couldn't even lift his arm during the fight scene. He only had to give body blows. He had to hit people low because he couldn't get his arm up to punch him in the face. He hit him low. That was during Triple H when he was like,
"And I'm gonna bite you in the neck."
Yeah, he was puffy Triple H during that time. But
yeah, he was.
I can't believe that was 2004 though. He must have really shredded up for the later years. But
yeah, he actually I think looked better in his later one. I mean, as much as I'd be a long-haired fan, I think the Triple H the
shaved head
one was actually a more bearable one. The other one I kind of just associate with as he was married to the daughter of Vince McMahon, and kind of, I don't know, you kind of get the feeling like he was politician Triple H at that point, and a lot of people had a problem with like him either disparaging them before they could get their push or holding them down. So at least in the later years, Triple H, he was kind of like basically what difference is he called himself the Destroyer then, and then when he ran or used to run NXT, I believe now he was the Creator. So he kind of had a better, people liked him more, I guess, long story short.
Now this one I think should be in the top 5.
Okay.
This is The Rock, the Tooth Fairy. Terrible. Ooh. Terrible movie. The Rock making, between that one and the football one he made, terrible movies. It's when he sold out the Disney, man. He just turned into the Tooth Fairy. He's a hockey player, and just I couldn't even watch that movie.
There's a fascination of just kind of, I don't know what the word I'm trying to reach without. There's a fascination with demanlying the wrestlers in a lot of the movies, like making them like Mr. Nanny, the Tooth Fairy.
Well, they tried to make it kind of cute because they're they're being portrayed as a masculine man.
Yeah.
So, but this
But
movie,
it's really not, because most of the fan base that would go see that film are ones that
they're little
want to see
kids.
him in. Well, I mean, they would want to see him in a tough guy role, not wearing a tutu.
But again, this is like Ice Cube playing Are We There Yet? He goes from Badass Friday, where he's like dude smoking weed, and he goes into Boys in the Hood. And then he's in a movie where he's taking two children across the country to go to see his girlfriend. So it's the same thing. The Rock sells out, makes a terrible movie called The Tooth Fairy. He also made some stupid movie, Game Plan. It's not listed in here. Both movies are terrible. Both movies are not The Rock. They even said in this article, I can't believe these movies are made. I get it. But you know what? Paycheck, he'll do it. Just tells you that The Rock will sell out. He's a sellout, just like everything else.
They were saying that everyone in their list, they cannot believe the movies were made.
Here's the thing that's funny is The Rock. This is pre-Rock, before he also looked like he exploded and his body's gonna blow up because he's so puffy and his veins are sticking out of everything.
Black Adam Rock.
Have you seen the changes in the guy, man? I mean, he went from like
ginormous
now all of a sudden it's like, where did your neck go? I mean, it's like his head looks like it should be like where his chest is, and it's just no neck, like a big juggernaut. Just like, next one movie, I never saw it. Stone Cold did make some terrible movies, but this one I think is The Condemned. I think I've seen it on Netflix or something. But
top 10 worst wrestler movies, The Condemned. I seen it once. I don't remember it being that bad.
Well, that's what they listed. They said it was a miscool budget, an unproven director, and a cast of misfit toys. The Condemned was dead before it even hit the theaters, and I don't think it even made it to the theaters. Did anybody even see it in the theaters? I think, honestly, Stone Cold Steve Austin should stick with doing the ranch movie where he does competitions on the TV show. I don't think he should
Broken Skull Ranch.
Yeah, he should just stick with that. Don't make movies. He's not a movie guy.
Sounds like a actual brand of ranch. Broken Skull Ranch.
Broken Skull Ranch. Now
goes great on wings.
This movie I didn't know existed, but this movie came out. It's Santa Claus with muscles.
Oh yeah, see, I said that earlier. That was
how the hell did this movie get? How did this movie even get made? What the heck? Look at this. What is
brother?
What
Santa with muscles, brother?
And look at his body. It's not even like close to what he looked like towards the end of his career. Look at that guy. He like a normal looking. And look at the two dudes in it. They just look like comedians who are looking for extra money. Can you be in a show called Santa with Muscles?
Is that similar to the what was it, David Arbor or whatever you say his name? That is, what was the name of that movie that was just out where he's killing people as Santa for that family?
Oh, Fright Night or Silent Night or something.
Yeah, it was like Deadly Night or something. Yeah, maybe that's what it's called. Yeah, not the horror movie.
This doesn't look.
That was just out.
This looks far from a horror movie. This looks like.
Especially with Hulk Hogan smiling.
He looks like a stripper. Santa with muscles, the stripper. That's what it looks like.
It does look awful, and we don't even need to see the movie.
No. This movie I did see, and I didn't think it was this bad. Number 10 is John Cena and the Marine. I think
the first Marine actually isn't as bad as people say. I mean, progressively, the Marines probably get worse.
Now, the problem is between
the Marine movies.
The problem with John Cena and John Cena being in movies is it Mark Wahlberg or is it John Cena? That's the problem.
He's a little more jacked.
It's jacked up Mark Wahlberg.
Jacked Wahlberg.
In fact, he was in that movie with Amy Schumer, and they said, "Whatever, Mark Wahlberg." He's like, "I don't look like Mark Wahlberg. I'm like 100 pounds heavier than him." So. He looks like Mark Wahlberg.
If it's in the Peacemaker TV series,
yeah,
he's ginormous in that. So,
well,
maybe some of his other roles, he's not quite as big.
See him in the movie Daddy's Home with Will.
Never seen that. Never seen that movie.
Dude, I'll pull up that picture. He looked like on this motorcycle. He looked like a 500-pound man. pulled up in the motor. His body compared to everybody else in the movie, he looked like those He-Man dolls. Like those.
Didn't he? Was he playing like the ex-husband or something like
He
that?
showed
Is
up at
that?
the end. He showed up
Yeah,
at the end of the movie, but
yeah,
he looked like what the He-Man dolls looked like in the 80s. Like,
yeah.
and my thing's not working. I'm
Because
trying to.
they don't have any testing for steroids for movies, right? You could just do them and film the movie. There's no,
Dude, come
yeah.
on. What what
Well,
what are we
that's what I mean.
what are we
That's what I
talking
mean.
about?
That any of the actors, if they wanted to bulk up, they could do that. There's no testing for that, so it's
Well,
not going to matter
he's in a
what
movie
they.
called he's in a movie called Daddy's Home. It's not like he's got to be a jack dude in, in the movie Daddy's Home. But when he shows up at Daddy's Home, he looks gigantic. And it's like his legs are huge. It's like,
What
what?
are you pulling up? The motorcycle footage?
Oh, I'm pulling up what he looks like. What he looks like. Because I think now he probably looks normal. But
Yeah, he's when he wrestled at WrestleMania against Theory, he was noticeably smaller.
because
And
he's got
for some reason he must have been on set or
this,
something.
this is
Must
what
have been on set because he was paler too. They didn't even let him tan for that.
this is what he
Yeah.
looked like right here. Like he looks like the He-Man dolls. Look at the size of those guys and their heads too. Like
Be-
their head is gigantic.
Beast Man with his teeth.
Beast man. But okay. Not to change the subject, but out of these He-Man dolls, which ones did you not want to play with? Beastman and who the hell is this guy?
Well, Man
Who's
at
that?
Arms looks
Who's
like
that?
Man
Who's
at
that?
Arms looks like a creepy old uncle
No,
or
who's the frog?
grandpa.
Who's the frog looking guy? No one wants
That's
to play
Merman.
with
That's
that.
Merman.
Yeah, no one wants to play with Merman.
He's gargling water in the cartoon. Hello, hey man.
Problem with the whole thing is Man of Arms, at least you could take that looks like a soup tray in front of his face that he could like suck and stuff like that. At least you could take that off of him and he could
Portable horse trough. He could
and he's
snack on whatever he was eating earlier. Glad I saved some.
He's wearing like a helmet that looks like it's like studying his brain waves. Like, yeah. Now we know what you're thinking.
The Stranger Things. Before Stranger Things.
I mean, look at his head. But then you got Skeletor, who doesn't look anything like the movie. But then it kind of fades in the back of those characters in this picture.
It looks more like a bonnet than a hood.
And then
doesn't it?
Beastman looked like a baboon. It's like, what is up with that guy? No one wants to play with Beastman. Like, no one. Beastman comes in a package. You're like, great. Who bought me Beastman?
What's weird is he's got a whip to tame himself. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why does he have the whip?
He just looks terrible. All right, that's
still classic stuff, though. That's the childhood there.
All right, number 11, Kane.
That's a tease of a future episode.
Kane and See No Evil.
Me toy line. You listen.
And Kane and See No Evil.
That was and it's hard to picture that in top 10 of worst wrestlers, but it was what it was.
You didn't like it, or did you like it?
I don't think it was top 10 worst when he played Jacob Goodnight.
You thought it was bad, though? You think it was a bad movie?
I think it would be. I would classify it as bad if that was the reason why they demasked him so he could star in the film. But
that's right, they did demask him. I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for that maybe it deserves it since they ruined my Kane, which was the original Kane. After that,
how about Edge in Endgame, Highlander?
That was a movie or a TV series?
I think it was a movie. Never even heard of it.
No, I never seen it.
As is one of the 6 Highlander movies. A whopping none of them are any good. And dude, Highlander movies are good. The original Highlander. There's no.
So he's the lead star of this Highlander movie.
It looks like a a very old one.
Highlander 14
Well, no, it
on
says
the
he
edge.
plays a small role, but they're talking about wrestlers who made bad movies. Now, this one you might know. I don't know this guy. Who's Tor Johnson in 1959? Plan 9 from Outer Space. Who the hell's that?
Tor Johnson. Is he the one that looks like George Animal Steel?
Maybe he was in a movie.
The eyebrows.
50s. Way
Yeah,
before
I don't
my
know.
time. Next one is Mr. Kennedy in Behind Enemy Lines.
Mr. Kennedy. Kennedy.
And then last movie is Mr. Mark Wahlberg again,
Kennedy.
John Cena in Fred the movie.
Fred the movie.
He was in Fred the movie. That was like a Nickelodeon movie, and he was in it. I forgot about that. Dude, I think John Cena just appeared in movies just to be in movies. Honestly, sometimes I think sometimes he was just.
He was like the low rent celebrity.
I think
John Cena will do it. He'll do anything.
John Cena, do you want to be in this movie? I will. But dude,
you're gonna play He-Man.
So again, these are the worst movies.
Those were the worst movies. We have 2 minutes to tell you the best movies.
No, we got time.
Last episode.
Zoom, we don't have any more time.
If you talk on Zoom at all, even if it's before recording, we are counting you down like an evil producer.
I'm trying to find a picture of John Cena.
Last episode.
So what are your favorite movies other than Roddy Piper being in his movie?
Ooh, I'd have to run them down. I think No Holds Barred is surprisingly decent movie. I mean, for being basically like Hulk Hogan versus Zeus.
You like that movie?
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It was cheese, but I mean, except for the Dookie shit. What is that, Dookie? I mean, that was horribly cheap. That was cheesy as hell. When a guy shit himself in the parking lot when Hogan's beating people up.
So I got to ask you then, to go into that, do you think that
plus Joan Severance is hot as hell and she was in that movie.
But do you think that Zeus, because that's when he started wrestling too.
Yeah.
Zeus, overrated or underrated as a wrestler? Terrible actor.
Zeus?
Yeah, him as a wrestler.
I don't think he was a terrible actor. Didn't he play the guy in Friday, the guy who stole people's money or whatever the fuck? Snatched their gold or snatched the chains or whatever.
Where was the acting? Where was the acting in that? It's not like he was acting. He wasn't acting in those movies.
He had to be acting. He was actually a pretty cool dude. He was playing a bully.
It's not far from the Zeus character that he played in the movie with.
Just beats his chest and yells, "Ah!"
Yeah. What about?
He was a pretty horrible wrestler, but for cheese factor, or man, I want to say cheese factor, nostalgia factor. I remember Zeus.
What
the
about
Human Wrecking Machine?
If you had to compare him to Mr. T as wrestlers, which one's worse?
As a wrestler, T was probably better. T main evented WrestleMania. Zeus, I think, main evented a SummerSlam. T could do some stuff. Zeus kind of beat his chest and just kind of choked Hogan, and that was really all you did. Bear hug maybe he had on Brutus, so you didn't really do too much. T, I think, did a lot more. So probably Mr. T.
Right. So Mr. T was a better.
What's going on over there?
Which one was a better character in the WrestleManias? Since we're going into movie actors, do you think that David Arquette deserved to be a wrestler?
Well, anybody.
No. I'm asking the question. Do you think?
Are you talking about deserve to be a wrestler or deserve?
Do you think he deserved to be in the
world heavyweight champion?
Well, he knows that he fucked up and did that shit, and people didn't respect him for that crap. He knows that.
Well, there's a movie out, I think, like rebuilding David Arquette or some shit like that. Did you see that?
I did see. I watched it.
You did see that? Was it any good?
Yeah, it was when he got cut.
It was when he faced Nick Gage. I didn't see that, but I know he wrestled Nick Gage
and freaking dug into his forehead with it. He about flipped out. All right.
My money maker. My money maker.
Yeah, the dude cut him. Okay, next question. Out of all this in the picture, which one is the worst He-Man characters? I think they just made these. I think they made these just to
Can't
bring them
stop
out.
talking about He-Man.
Oh, I can't. What the hell are these things? Did you see any of these characters in
Some
He-Man?
of these look like those kind of look like the classics, which is the line that they did more of the 6-inch figure lines. Those look like classics, except for that merman looks really weird.
The merman he looks like
he doesn't look like he belongs. It looks
no,
like a different merman than
looks
the
like
rest
a
of them.
shoe. Like it.
The bottom of his shoe.
He did. I gotta do my. He looks like a shoe. And then who's the dude with the eyeball? Look at that guy behind me. The big
I can't.
eyeball.
If my buddy Greg was here, he could identify those. Yeah,
look at Man at Arms. He has a mask on.
That's a guard. That's an Eternian. That's a palace guard. That's who that is.
Oh, so that's that man.
It's not Man at Arms.
Look at the snake person.
The snake Tila is the goddess. That's the Shadow Weaver is the one in the red cloak with just the eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that's Vicor behind the Conan knockoff behind Merman. Next to Faker.
Only you know.
Can't remember. I don't know if it's Optet. I don't know what the hell that's I don't know. The eye guy I never had. He just looks ridiculous. That's probably the worst one.
Why would you play with that guy? That would be
I don't know what the fuck you
And where would you play?
An eye with
I'm the
eye
guy.
Walking eye with a weapon. Like what the fuck is he doing?
I'm playing with the eye guy. No,
yeah.
I want the eye guy.
him. Let's do a draft. We're gonna draft eye guy. in the 22nd round. In the 22nd round, the Raiders select Eye Man.
No, in the 22nd round, the Raiders select these guys because you
get
both.
Too bad. Remember him?
Yeah, these are
the original one had the arms that go the fists together.
They went like this.
Yeah. You know. If you know, you know.
These are worse toys. These are the worst.
These are different modernized versions of the Too Bad that we remember though.
Yeah. But it looks stupid. Look at the guy. One guy's face is like really serious.
It looks stupid. Anybody with two heads is stupid. Now we get canceled.
That's what. Yeah, anybody out there with two heads is dumb. They don't deserve anything.
You're just like Too Bad. You're dumb. I'm never gonna play with you.
2 heads and 2 arms and 2 legs. It's stupid.
Lots of hate mail now on me podcast. You listen. Well, what do you got against Too Bad? He's got 2 heads.
I didn't know his name was Too Bad.
No, that is his name. Too Bad. Too Bad.
So, what are your favorite wrestling movies? You said the other one's Hold Barred.
They Live tops everything because that's actually one of my favorite movies ever. No Holds Barred was good. We mentioned, I think the first Marine wasn't that bad for Cena. I mean, it could have been worse. If it's with a wrestler in it, Predator is awesome. The Running Man, anything with Jesse. Except for that one they mentioned in the other one. I'd never seen that one, so I'll have to take their word for it. But this is just movies now, right? Not TV shows with when Roddy was the maniac on Always Sunny. that was pretty damn funny.
So, WWE Studios top 10 movies based on first one. This contradicts everything. The WWE Studios is See No Evil. Is a movie at WWE. Knucklehead.
I don't think it maybe was the worst. Knucklehead was the Big Show when he was playing Captain Insano.
Scorpion King was it?
No, he was in Waterboy, wasn't he? Captain Insano was in Waterboy, wasn't he? Yeah.
WWE made Scorpion King. It was a movie in the studio.
I think they get credit because they were letting him use rock while he was under contract.
12
we could drink on me podcast. You listen.
I gotta drink my water.
12
rounds. 12 rounds. That's a good movie.
Was that with Randy Orton?
That's with John Cena.
That was with John Cena?
Yep.
I think Randy Orton was in like 12 rounds too, I think. Yeah, they actually made it too, yeah.
They made a lot of movies with John Cena.
Yeah. Trying to make him a movie star.
They did.
Crossover appeal.
Now I will
say they helped them, that's for sure.
That WWE did make that I did think was a good movie. This is WWE movie, was Fighting with the Family. I thought that was a good movie with Paige.
That was Paige's life story. Yeah, I've seen that in a theater.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. The Rock, I think, his $7 promotion, wherever the hell I think it's $7 promotions. Yeah, he produced that, The Rock.
Now, movies that were made with wrestlers. You have No Holds Barred, which is number 15, based on this.
No Holds Barred, number 15.
The 15 best wrestling movies of all time.
Okay, these are the 15 best. Okay.
The next one, number 14, was The Pro Wrestler versus Zombies.
Never seen it.
Movie opens with Shane Douglas accidentally killing another wrestler in the ring during an indie show. What shit? I never heard of this movie. Ready to Rumble, my favorite. I liked Ready to Rumble.
So it's on one list and then on the other two.
The main event. Never saw it. It was a kids movie. It was
heard of it.
Netflix movie. Never heard of the cage fight. This was with John Moxley.
Cage fight
of the Ring. Never heard of that one. Look it up. And here's the one I wanted to get to: Nacho Libre, best wrestling movie out there. Funny,
but that didn't star a wrestler. It was about wrestling.
There was a wrestler in it. The guy that played the main character with the golden mask, he was a wrestler. He was a luchador.
Oh, real? But that's kind of cheating, though.
Okay,
that was just an excuse to get a Nacho Libre in there.
This now
can you name the guy with the gold mask? Because if you can't, that kind of just tells me
name. He comes out of Mexico
in real life. What is this lucha
name? His name is El
Rams Rock. He is El Ram Rock.
So this movie, I would say, starred. I was thinking Jake the Snake was in
these stretchy pants.
Jake the Snake was in this movie. It's one of my favorite.
Beyond the Mat?
No, it's one of my favorite movies. He was in the movie. It's a movie called Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh yeah, that's right. I never.
You got to see that movie. It's funny. It's a good movie. It stars Jake the Snake. I think he's like a wrestling.
Shia LaBeouf before he was canceled.
Yeah, that was a good movie. So
yeah,
I like those movies. Honestly, I agree with you. Jesse the Body Ventura was probably one of the best actors in movies.
He's got to be topping that list from Predator alone.
He made Predator. He was in The Running Man. He just had that character. His persona outside the ring was pretty much inside the ring, exact same character. I think he stood there with Arnold Schwarzenegger and played those characters. He fit that role.
Yeah, personally, They Live. I mean, for box office, Predator would be number one. For me, They Live and then Predator would be right there. If obviously we were including Jesse. So
what?
Yeah.
Then think about it. If they made a movie with John Cena and The Rock, that would
just buddy cops ripping on each other all the time.
John Cena, The Rock, and Triple H all in Three Stooges, unhinged. That's
who's Mo? Who's Mo?
John
Mo?
Cena.
Who's Larry?
John Cena's Mo.
Who's Larry?
Larry is Triple H. Curly is
The Rock.
They'll put him in that fat suit like they put him in with when he was in the movie. It's Central Intelligence, and he'll be The Rock. Will be Curly.
Loses weight.
Dude, The Rock could be Curly, and yeah,
that's.
And then it's funny. The Rock's Curly, and then it's like when they're little, and then they all go and he trains, and then he comes back just ripped like he did in that movie Central Intelligence. And then all of a sudden he's like curly still, but he's like muscle curly.
I'd never seen Central Intelligence.
No. Now, I will tell you this. That seriously is probably The Rock's best movie.
Really?
And with Kevin Hart.
You didn't like him in Get Smart?
The Rock?
Yeah, he was in Get Smart, remember?
No. The movie where he plays he plays a hitman. No, it wasn't Get Smart. It's Get Shorty, not Get Smart. Get Short.
No, but he was in the Get Smart movie though too.
So out of all the actors and wrestlers of all times, we got 4 minutes left. Out of all the actors in time,
the countdown,
all wrestlers in time, which one is the best wrestler actor that you know in a movie?
Don't
tell me it's Rowdy Piper. He sucks in that movie you're talking about that's behind you.
No, he does not suck. He's great in it. What the hell are you talking about? He's perfect in there as John Nada.
Dude,
if I can't choose Roddy because that movie is so awesome, I would have to say Jesse because anything Jesse did was great.
So you don't think
I ain't got time to bleed. But can't even say the word he says in the helicopter.
His main role. I ain't got time to bleed.
The fucking thing in the helicopter.
My question.
Bunch of slack jawed in this here.
When he's chewing the tobacco constantly.
Yeah.
So again, you don't think The Rock is a good actor? Or is he just typecasted as the same actor in every movie?
You're asking me what my favorite, but what I think, obviously the most successful of all time has to be The Rock. But for me, his most entertaining and whatever he did. I mean,
so let me ask you,
Jesse paved the way.
Rowdy Piper, The Rock. You had to choose which movie to go see today. Which movie you seeing?
No, They Live all day, man.
Man, you are committed.
Dude, They Live is one of the greatest movies ever. Period. For me.
Let's just see what They Live.
Have you seen They Live?
Yeah.
Such a great film.
It's not. It's
dude, it's awesome film. Don't listen to Coach JC. Top 5 film. I was just telling a girl about this movie because her husband is a little bit older than her, and he's like, he always shows me all these 80s films. She's like 33 and her husband's 43. And I was like, yeah, I mean, ask him if he'd show you They Live. One of the greatest movies of all time.
They Live
that has the greatest fight, longest fight, cinema fight of all time between Keith David and Roddy Piper when they're fighting in the alley over the sunglasses. Spoofed constantly. Everybody loved that. The plot.
Was it a serious movie or was it a comedy?
It's not a comedy, dude. It was a serious
action, horror, sci-fi thriller.
It's John Carpenter. So you know it's going to be good. Telling you, maybe you're not remembering it correctly. They Live is freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah, well, I'll have to watch it now because I don't believe you.
I would watch it again. It's just such a great film.
You own the VHS tape behind you.
I have it on Vudu streaming. How do you like that, buddy?
That's great. All right. Well, in my attempt to write a episode of Me Podcast You Listen, WWE wrestlers of all time, movies, good or bad.
Movie wrestlers.
I think it was kind of, it was probably 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, about the same rating as They Live with Piper.
Incredible movie.
Look at that.
They Live.
So I think that if you have to watch a movie out of all movies that I really liked and enjoyed that I didn't think was going to be any good, Peanut Butter Falcon is probably one of the best movies for wrestling, and then has wrestling cameos. And then also The Wrestler is a good movie with
Mickey Rourke.
With Mickey Rourke. So
that was a sad movie.
It was a sad movie, but
very sad. If you want to be brought down, like life isn't just kicking you in the gonads enough.
So subscribe as we cut off again. We're going to get cut off, and make sure you subscribe and check us out. And also make sure that you check out Me Podcast You Listen on Spotify and iTunes. As we exit out here, thank you, MC. We are out.